Hey there guys, it's Rick Utzer here with AirgunWeb TV and our continuing series on the Brocock Bantam Sniper HR. Now in our last episode, we were still shooting the standard model. We were trying to shoot it at 75 yards and we really came to the conclusion we need a little more gas in the tank. Now the way to do that is to try and turn it into the high power model, which is what we have here. There's a reason I didn't modify that one. That's what we're going to talk about today. All right, guys, before we get started, I'd like to say thank you to Daystate and Brocock for providing these air guns and also helping us pull all of this together. You know, they've let me kind of deep dive into this product line, which is not something I normally get to do. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you guys have liked it too. But remember, it's really thanks to the guys over at Daystate and Brocock. Now, to get started here, that is the standard model. That's what we've been shooting, and that is an awesome gun, provided you're kind of in a set of parameters. So, you know, if I was going to be hunting a small game in the woods, that guy is awesome. You know, we've got 50-yard accuracy that is basically surgical. But what if I want to go out and shoot prairie dogs that I know I'm going to be at 75, 100, 150 yards? The consistency of that at those ranges, it just isn't there. No matter what we try and do with that and that platform, it just starts to fall apart once you get past 50 yards. At least that's in my experience, especially if you have any wind conditions going on. Now, again, the idea was, and I really talked to the guys, was to take this right here and modify it to be this. And there's a reason we didn't do that, and I'll kind of go through some of that right now. Now, I didn't know this before talking to the guys over there, but each one of these guns is specifically tuned to hit a certain set of parameters. So you've got accuracy, you've got power output, and you've got shot count, and each gun is sort of set up to make sure it meets that. So if you have the standard model, it's set up to match this model's specifications. Now, can you tweak that a little bit? Absolutely you can. But if I tried to make this gun, so this has got an 18.5-inch barrel, this has a 24-inch barrel. This regulator is set between 145 and 155. This regulator is usually set between 155 and 165. The hammer spring set up differently. All of these things, it comes from the factory set to deliver what this gun is set to deliver. Now, if I want to modify this a little bit here and there, you can do that. But if I want to make this into this, you can maybe do that, but the probability of you getting something as accurate and as set up as nice as it was kind of from the get-go at the factory, you may not hit that mark. For that reason, rather than trying to mod this gun, they just sent me the high power. And what I want to do today is kind of show you the difference, why I believe this is going to be better at 75 yards. So one of the major differences between these two guns is going to be the power output that they get. So we talked a little bit about it already. That's got a shorter barrel. It's 18.5 inches. This is 24 inches. The longer barrel allows more time for the air to push the pellet out the barrel. That way you get more efficient use of the air. At least that's what I'm being told, and I believe to be the case. And because you're going to have greater velocity and you're going to have more stability at range, I believe this is going to give us just more consistent accuracy at that longer range. Power output, what's the real difference? That's doing 875 feet per second with a 25.4 grain JSBs. This guy right here, this guy is doing 960 feet per second. That's a big difference, and that's a lot more power out of this gun, and I think that's really going to make the difference. But we're going to test that for sure. I'm going to go ahead and put my shooting table here. I'm going to set a target up at 75 yards. We'll shoot a group out of that one, or a group out of this one. Then we'll see which one does better. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so here we are. We've got the standard Brocock Bantam Sniper HR, and we are going to be shooting at 75 yards. I've got a camera down there, and I really was hoping to be able to bring you some phone scope footage, but unfortunately, it's so hot right now that none of my phones will actually stay running and recording. So we're gonna have to wait till it cools off a little bit. So sorry about that. But hopefully that camera down there will show us exactly what we need to see. Again, we're 75 yards. I'm shooting the JSB Kings here. Here are 25.4s. And again, in this gun, they're doing 875 feet per second. Now, the other thing I did just before is I did top this gun off And as you guys probably saw in the background there, I've got the Daystate compressor. Just a short little note on if you need to fill your own guns. Let me tell you, if you're going to buy a compressor and you're willing to spend, a little bit more, the Daystate is going to be your best bang for the buck. It is exceptional. www.airgunproshop.com. We got those in stock, in inventory right now. They come and go, so if it's something you're looking for, definitely look up that Daystate compressor. It's really, really good. $2,000 gets you an honest-to-goodness, professional-grade compressor from Italy. It's worth the money. So, with that said, let's go ahead and send some pellets down range here. I've topped this off to right about 230 bar. That seems to be a good starting point for these guns. Let's see what we get. I'm going to shoot the top target. I don't know how many shots I'll take. We're going to learn pretty quick where things are hitting. It's dead calm right now. There may be a tiny little bit of a breeze. So this is a great opportunity to really see the difference between these two models here. Okay. All right, 75 yards. Here we go. Now, the other day when I was shooting, if I aimed dead center, it was hitting a little high left. So I'm going to aim dead center again. And then I may use the crosshairs to adjust my point of impact. Hold on. No, it's just a tiny bit high. So we're just going to hold there and see what we can get. Okay, he's back hitting high left again. It's hitting pretty consistent though, so I'm not going to try and adjust. Let's just shoot groups here to see what this is going to do for us. All right, I'm going to shoot one more here. Let's go ahead, put some shots down range here. This is the high power. So let's see what we can get here. Take the first shot like I did before, kind of see where we're at and go from there. Want to go right. All right, so this one is hitting a little bit right. I'm just going to let it group there. We'll take a look at the groups here in a minute. should be the last one. Okay. All right, guys, that was a pretty interesting test. Now, it is dead calm. This is about as ideal as we're ever going to get here in West Texas. And in those conditions, the difference between the standard and the high power is actually pretty negligible, frankly. But the minute you start getting any sort of wind conditions, that's where the high power is really going to start pulling ahead. But with that said, let's take a look at these groups, right? So this is our group with the standard model. Now the first one, I don't know what happened there, just kind of went a little off, but everything else groups right here. Down here on the bottom, see, everything is a nice tight little package there. Now, if I put a tape on these, and forgive me for not getting the micrometers out, but I think we can get a rough idea here. So if I measure the entire group, approximate center to center is 2 1/8, which that's 75 yards. That ain't bad. If I go just center to center of the main group, we're basically 1 1/4. So that's 1 1/4 inch group at 75 yards. That's pretty good. That's with the standard rifle. Now if I go to this, now this one, again, a little bit of a quote flyer, although it's pretty tight in with the main group, isn't it? So, but if I go the entire group, the entire however many shots we got, I'm looking at the entire group, 2, 3, 4, 1 5/16. So pretty doggone good. If I take that little guy out, then we're at 1 1/8. So 1 1/4, 1 1/8, that is pretty doggone nearly identical with me behind the trigger for sure. But again, this is absolutely perfect conditions. And the other thing I haven't done yet, this gun is bone stock. Haven't adjusted the trigger. I haven't even put 100 rounds through it yet. I'll be very curious to see what I can do after I spend a little more time on this. But I've got a lot of bench time with that gun. And that's about as good as I've ever shot that, by the way, at 75 yards, take the flyer out. So that really put on a good show today. This guy also did very well. We're going to take this, I'm going to do the trigger on it, get it set up, try some other pellets to see if we can get that to shrink up. And then we're going to come back and do another shooting set at 75 yards. And weather permitting, we'll see if we can get something done at 102. So stay tuned for our next video. I know you guys that wanted me to kind of do all the mods on that, to turn it into this, probably a little disappointed. Hope you guys understand why we kind of chose to not go that route. So hopefully you guys will forgive me for that. But I think this is really going to show us really the best what the platform can bring to the table. And that's sort of what this is all about. All right, guys, that's going to be it for now. My name is Rick Utzler. Thanks for watching.